Today, we're taking a deep dive into something that can be a silent killer, deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. Now, we all kind of know the usual suspects when it comes to causes, right? But what if the biggest risks are the ones that nobody's really talking about? We're about to uncover some of the most surprising and overlooked causes of these really dangerous blood clots.
So let me ask you, when you hear DVT, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Just take a second. If you're like most people, your answer is probably one of two things.
Yeah, you're probably picturing being crammed into an airplane seat for 8 hours, or maybe being laid up in bed after surgery. And hey, you're not wrong. Being immobile is definitely a huge, well-known risk. But it's not even close to being the whole story. What if they're tied to things we do, substances we might use, or even medications we take every day? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on 3 really surprising connections that researchers have uncovered. Okay, so before we get into the wild stuff, let's do a quick primer, just so we're all on the same page. What exactly is deep vein thrombosis? So, what's the big deal about a clot in your leg? Well, the real danger isn't just the clot itself. The absolute nightmare scenario is when a piece of that clot breaks off, travels up through your bloodstream, and gets lodged in your lungs. That's a pulmonary embolism. And yeah, it can be fatal. All right, let's get into our first reveal. And this one is a biggie. It's about intravenous drug use. But here's the twist. The risk isn't just about the drug. It's about the physical act itself. This quote from a study pretty much says it all. Researchers found this incredibly strong link between injecting into the big femoral vein in your groin and getting DVT. It's a practice that, as it turns out, just dramatically raises the stakes. And this chart, wow. This shows you the sheer scale of that difference. One study found that a staggering 39% of people who inject in their legs end up with serious venous disease. Now, compare that to just over 4% for those who use other sites. It's proof that where you inject is absolutely critical. So, why such a massive gap? Well, it all comes down to physiology. When you repeatedly inject into the legs and groin, you're causing so much trauma and irritation to those veins. They get damaged, they harden up, that's sclerosis, and eventually clots form. The veins in your arms, on the other hand, are just a bit more resilient to that kind of damage. And if you want a number that'll really stop you in your tracks, look at this. The same study found that people who injected into their legs were over 34 times more likely to get venous ulcers, which are a horrible complication of DVT, than non-injectors. That is just an almost unbelievable leap in risk. And, this isn't just some abstract number in a research paper. The risk is so real and so pronounced that entire health systems, like the NHS over in the UK, have actually created specialized clinical plans just for managing DVT in this specific group. It's a real-world crisis, and it needs a real-world response. Okay, let's move on to our second reveal. This time, we're going to shift gears from the physical action to the chemical properties of a specific drug, and the shocking way it can mess with your blood. Get this case study. A 27-year-old guy, perfectly healthy, tries cocaine for the very first time. And the result wasn't what you'd expect. It was a complete medical catastrophe. He had a massive stroke, a DVT, and clots in his lungs, all at once. His body was suddenly just full of blood clots. I mean, how on earth does that happen? Well, the answer is something called a prothrombotic state. Cocaine basically rewires your body's chemistry. It makes your blood dangerously sticky and prone to clotting. It's like it flips a switch inside you that tells your blood to just stop flowing and start clumping up. So here's how it works in 3 basic steps. First, the cocaine directly damages the super delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. This injury sends out a sort of SOS signal. That signal gets answered by platelets, which get activated and rush to the scene. And finally, those activated platelets start sticking together, forming a thrombus, a blood clot that can cause a blockage anywhere. All right, our third and final reveal might just be the most surprising of all, because this one involves 2 really common lifestyle choices that, when you put them together, create a risk that is so much bigger than the sum of its parts. We're talking about a synergistic threat. So, a study looked at working women and their awareness of the risks of combining 2 very, very common things: smoking cigarettes and taking oral contraceptive pills. And what they found, as you can see from these tables from that study, was a really significant and pretty dangerous gap in knowledge. In fact, check this out. When these women were asked if they knew that combining smoking and the pill was more dangerous than just smoking by itself, nearly 61% of them said no. A huge majority was totally unaware of the amplified danger. So, okay, we know each of these things carries its own risk for blood clots. But what happens when you throw them together? Does the risk just add up, or is there something else going on entirely?
Oh, it's something else, all right? Something way, way bigger. A major study found that women who both smoke and use oral contraceptives have an 8.8-fold increased risk of venous thrombosis. It's not addition, it's multiplication. The risk doesn't just add up, it literally multiplies. It's a truly dangerous synergy. So, we've looked at the needle, the chemistry, and this crazy synergy. After all that, what's the big picture? What does this all really mean? Let's try and tie it all together.
All right, let's boil it all down. What are the key takeaways here? First, location matters. A lot. The simple act of injecting in the legs is just worlds more dangerous than in the arms. Second, chemistry matters. A drug like cocaine can literally transform your blood into a clot-making machine. And third, combinations matter. Smoking and birth control pills don't just add their risks together, they multiply them, creating a danger that's way bigger than either one on its own. You know, all three of these hidden risks were only brought to light because researchers were out there digging for answers. And it just leaves you with this one big, important question. What other dangerous connections are we missing? How many other risks are still out there, just hiding in plain sight?